There we go. If you're watching this video, just go ahead and turn your screen vertically. Okay. So today is January 2024. I have 1,190 subscribers and I have 280 something videos. After this one, will be 282. Okay. And I still need 508 hours to get monetized on this platform. I think it's 508, and last month it was 500, and it was a little bit more or a little bit less. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about this, and I feel like it's important to talk about this, especially if you are planning on moving abroad, especially to Mexico. What are some of the challenging things? And this is like my moment to be vulnerable with you guys, to just let you know what it is that I consider some things that are so hard about being here. Well, I could just say some things right off the top of my head without looking at my list. But sometimes it's the fact that you don't have your family with you. You don't have your friends with you. Most people travel to Mexico, but most people don't live in Mexico. And the ones that do, they already have their little cliques, their little people, their little, family and things like that. And some of these people you don't have anything in common with. I find that most people that tend to travel are people who have husbands, have children. Single people usually don't stick to one spot. They don't stick to one area. I've noticed that a lot of single people who do travel for a living or is living abroad, they tend to travel a lot more versus a person who has kids or a husband, a family. So that's another challenging thing, to find people who are like you know what I mean? And then being in another country where you barely speak the language. And this is not to say that you can't have friends of the country that you're residing in, because I do, but it's still a language barrier there. Because if I can't fully communicate with myself or communicate with my friends in this language, then it's like, how deep do you expect the relationship to become if you can't really communicate? You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Another thing is being different and standing out. I know this may come as a surprise to some people, but I know every time I say it, it is a surprise to people. um, I don't really, I'm not a people's person. I am totally shy, right? And people be like, when they find out I'm on YouTube, they're like, what? Shy? You're on YouTube. I mean, but it's a difference. You know what I mean? It's a difference when you're not physically around people versus if you're watching this video right now, right? You know what I mean? I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. Probably not, right? So it's different to me. You know what I mean? So another thing that being challenged about being in Mexico is challenging because not only do you stand out and you look different, I feel like that makes you stand out and also makes you a target for good and bad. Okay, so I'm saying this because everywhere I go, I just attract people. I don't do anything different out of the ordinary. It's because of my skin, it's because of my hair. I stand out. And so I want to give you guys some instances, like some examples that recently just happened to me, right? So I was coming home, I was on my way home, and I was in line, and this lady just pulls my hair like this. And I turned around, I'm like, what is that? And she was like, oh, I love your hair. She said it in Spanish. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, why did she have to touch my hair? And then this morning I went to the little corner store that I always go to. The guy decided to speak English to me just automatically. I'm like, how do you know I even speak Okay, anyway, so he said, good morning. And I'm like, hola, buenos dias. And one of the ladies, the customers in the store was like, she said something about Negro. And I'm like, I circle back around. I'm like, what? And listen, you've been in the country before somebody refers to you as a Negro. We know that means black in Spanish, but at the same time, it just don't feel good. I don't like the way that sounds, okay? She did say negrita, which is a term of endearment for people with this color of skin. She didn't say that. She said Negro, and I'm like, oh my God. I don't know what's worse, being called a gringo or Americano. I think Negro kind of, ugh. I don't like that at all. And I was so disgusted internally. And I was just like, what do I just call you something? Be peaceful, right? Be peaceful. But at the same time, it was very uncomfortable. And I know somebody that had their first experience. Um, and what happened with this person was that somebody was hollering the N word here, right here in this country, right here in this city where I'm living in. Called them an N word about 3 times as they're riding on their bike. Now, this was a man, so black man who experienced this. Now, that's his experience. Now, how he felt in that instance, I can only imagine how he felt. That's probably the same way I felt when this lady said Negro. And she, I don't know, she thought I didn't understand. She probably didn't meant that as a way of trying to offend me, but just saying, oh, she's black or whatever. I don't even like the way that sounds. Oh, black. I don't even like the way that sounds. But it's hard here because of the cultural differences. You see what I'm saying? So she probably meant, oh, she's black. But to me, hearing Negro, it's almost like hearing N-I-G-G-A, N-I-G-G-E-R. It's almost like hearing that word to me. And I'm like, what? Like, you know, it set me back a little bit. And some more examples. Every time you go to the Progressive Beach, they will try to sell you stuff all the time. Now, I always compare, I don't really know because I'm not white. Okay, I'm trying to watch what I say, but I'm not white. So I don't know what white aspects or immigrants experience being a gringo, but I feel like a lot of them could hide a little bit more than us. Because there are Mexicans that look like they are Caucasian, like they are American white, you know? So that's why I say that. There's no way for us to hide, and there's not too many, it's not a large population of Afro-Latinos here. So, and the ones that do, you know, they always come up to you as a melanated person, they always come up to you. They will make themselves known to you. Even if they have like 20%, like they have curly hair, a little bit darker skin than most Mexicans, they're, you know, they feel like, oh, we are family, you know. They will definitely make themselves known. But there aren't a large population like some countries like Colombia or Brazil. So you stand out like a sore thumb, okay? And these people target you. Oh, ask this person if they want to buy this. And it's like you be want to relax and stuff, but it's like, I'm telling you. And then being an attractive woman, I can't hide. I be like trying to find the most secluded places I could find, and it's just like somebody has to always find me, somebody always talking to me, somebody always asking me, you know English, you know Spanish, and yada yada yada. Somebody's always trying to talk to me in English, and it's like, dude, you know I do know Spanish like you, but then they're trying to practice their English. Somebody's always trying to use you to practice with. So the scams here, as far as like being, because you stand out, you tend to encounter scams. And we're talking about scams, oh God, I'm gonna say it. We're talking about scams from the Mexican people and also your own community, baby. From your own community. I know I piss a lot of people off because I talk about the truth the most, but I'm sorry, I can't help it. God to speak on what I experienced. So I'm sorry if the shoe fits. I just need you to wear it proudly and just be who you are. We have to face the fact that not only are we getting scammed by some of the Mexican table, we're also getting scammed by some other Americans here. That's hard because you want a sense of community, but it's not always there when somebody's trying to sell you something all the time. It's not always there when somebody only wants to contact you when it's regarding, do you want to buy this? Would you like to come to this? Or what it's like, it makes me feel like I am being, it doesn't make me feel valuable as a person. So, woo, cut a few people. I know. But it hurts to know that, that's what it comes down to. I mean, I had like a situation where I met this girl. I'm thinking the girl wants to be my friend or something, and oh yeah, I thought we clicked. We talked about the city where I was from, New Orleans, and she said she lived there, and I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah, we was vibing and whatever. And I thought we was vibing and whatever. I thought, oh, I'm finally finding my tribe. But girl, we met up the next day. It was all about business. Oh, she was like taking my information down because she makes stuff, right? And I'm like, oh, that's what it's about. Oh, okay. I thought, it was about like, being my friend or whatever, but you was just trying to sell me something. Oh, I didn't know that. So you will encounter things like that. Well, I have encountered situations like that, where, it's all about making a dollar. People are gonna be nice to you. They're gonna be friendly, but know that because you're melanated, or not know because I'm melanated, I tend to attract those types of people that always looks for scams. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. So, I made a video about the power outages. I haven't experienced any power outages anymore since that video, which is great. That's difficult because y'all know it's hot here in the city where I'm living in. And speaking of the city where I'm currently living in, it was considered the most travel or the most up and coming tourist city in the Forbes magazine. I forgot the title, but basically it was in the Forbes magazine. One of the top 40 places that you must visit, right? So it's becoming popular. And I know for sure that I will be moving out of the city. I just don't know when, okay? It's getting a little bit, it makes me feel a little crowded. I don't like crowds and things like that. But a city is gonna be a city, no matter where it is, where it is or whatever. It's like part of me loves the city life and part of me don't really love this. Like, I'm a country girl at heart, but it's like, okay, when I want to come out and play and have a good time, I want to be able to have the option to do that as well, So that's challenging. Just being in the city is so much noise, and things like that. It's so much attractions and so many things that just goes on, and a lot of people. So that's what makes it hard being here, but it's a great city to be in. Great city to be in. I will never say that it isn't a great city to be in. Okay. Not being able to find products. Every time I go back to the States, I usually am by my sister, and she would ask me why I'm always doing my hair and things like that every time I'm coming over there, and I'm like, I don't know. And then we came to the conclusion that it's because I can't find a lot of products and hair and things that I prefer here in Mexico. And of course I can order things like from AliExpress or Amazon and Temu and hair and things like that, and hair products. But sometimes, excuse me, y'all. Sometimes I don't get my packages. And I don't get my money back either. That's another challenge. And I don't know why that happens, but it does happen. Okay, so you think you about to get your package. You think you're ordering something because you got to get your hair together, or you have to do your hair or whatever, and then it doesn't come. So that's a challenge. Not being able to find products that you need. And I'm pretty sure it's different in other cities of Mexico, but the one I'm living in, that's a challenge, right? For me. And food. Not being able to cook the way I used to cook when I was living in New Orleans. I've adjusted. My diet is mostly consists of Mexican food, ceviche, tortillas, rice, beans, fish, seafood. I don't do pork or anything like that. Sometimes I do chicken. And if I need a little break, hey, I do Chinese food. Okay, so it's a challenge because I can't get those spices. How those spices were everything in New Orleans. It was everything. But I can't really find that here. And if I want that to order out, I can't get it either. So it's like that's another challenge that I face. Um, Dating is complicated. Dating is complicated here. Being in a relationship is complicated here. You're taking two different people from different countries who speak different languages with different customs and cultures, and probably of different religions or spiritual beliefs. It can be very complicated. And I'm a young woman, okay? My desire is to be married and have children, but if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna have to be totally okay with that. But it's only natural for a person to want that. The challenge comes when you are in another environment that you have to learn about. You have to learn the language, the customs, and the culture. And not only is it a one-way street for us, I have to know that, but whoever I choose as a partner has to know what American women culture or what American culture is so that they can understand me. A two-way street, you know what I mean? So that's complicated. That's difficult. That's the difficult part about it. And it's like I don't want to date um I wouldn't mind dating another aspect or being in a relationship with another aspect who's here, just so happen to be here in Merida or in Mexico. But it's just like most of the time the community is just it's just spread all over. People are all over, and I'm pretty sure those guys are not looking for comfort or what they stick to. What do they know? They probably want to branch out and try dating other cultures and things like that. So that's another complication, you know. Um, Another thing is that since we're speaking of culture, like the culture is different here. The customs are different, and nobody gives you a book and says, "Hey, this is the Yucatan culture. This is everything you need to know as an American." Nobody gives you that. It doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So you have to go through the fire, burn a few times to understand things. You know what I mean? And get criticized, get cursed out, get and I'm talking about only online. I'm talking about nothing that happened in person. But things that just happened online. Because you don't know. Instead of people watching one of your videos, they dissect that one video instead of dissecting all of your average of your videos and how you feel about a country or a person or place or a thing. They just take that one thing and they just dissect it. People need to do something better else with their time, but they don't. But instead they criticize you for it, for making a mistake that you didn't know culturally was one. Okay? So another thing is, it's slow here. It's very slow. Now, I have come to appreciate the slow life. Coming from a very fast-paced life, I think slow life and country life goes hand in hand, and I think it's for me and many other people who are very logical, introverted, and just smart, and people who have been through a lot of trauma and in life. They appreciate that, I'm pretty sure. So sometimes it's really, really slow. Right now we're in January. This is the high season. This is where everybody likes to visit Merida and calm down. The weather is usually nice. It's pretty hot right now. You guys probably hear my AC. But yeah. So I think this is pretty much all of the challenges, y'all. Oh wait, one more challenge, okay? One more challenge is that the conversion rate. It makes me so nervous. Like, listen, when I first came down here, I think the conversion rate was around 17, 18. And now it's like sitting in a 16. And I know it's gonna go up, but it's still scary. It scares me. It's like, what is going on? And the inner city probably shouldn't say this on this video, but if you stood and watched this long, you deserve to know the secret. The inner city bank ATMs charge more. The conversion rate is usually lower than the actual national conversion rate. So basically, less money for you when you're getting your money out of an ATM at any of the Mexican inner city ATMs. Okay? That's confusing. That is confusing, it's frustrating, and it's just so unfair. That pisses me off sometimes, that knowing that conversion rate just does that like that. That it basically just means you're getting less USA dollar, USD, for your peso. Okay? Usually you'll get more, but you're getting less when the conversion rate is low. For those of you who don't understand that. That's another thing that kind of just ticks me off. You know what I mean? Another thing, as a creator, this right here, it blows me 100%. Being called a liar, being called a storyteller, as if I'm making up my experiences. It's like, I don't know what people, they don't have nothing better to do with their time or something. I just don't know. And I usually see this only when there's African American women or men or anybody African descendant telling their story, their truth. It's always something. It's not true. That's not real. It's always somebody who likes to deny the experience that we are actually having. There's always somebody in the comments that has something to say. It's the hate comments for me. It's like, listen, the hate is coming from somewhere. You figured it out. What you think of me, that's not my problem. I can't solve your problem. Figure out your own shit, okay? But this is the thing that makes me feel like, it makes me just feel just so frustrated, and it makes it hard being here. You know what I mean? Because when the shoe is on the other foot, or when the situation is the vice versa, nobody says anything. Nobody says nothing. It's all good in the hood when it's the other way around. So that could be frustrating, but it's not going to stop me from doing what the good Lord wants me to do on this earth. So yeah, and yeah, I think this is all I have to really say about it. It can be hard sometimes, and I wanted to share those challenges with y'all because y'all are my friends, okay? And y'all deserve to know the truth about what is it really like mentally being here, and then sometimes you have to unplug. You know what I mean? You have to turn the TV off, get off of social media, stop answering calls, and focus on yourself and healing yourself when you are going through things. You know what I mean? And if you gotta do that, do that. You know what I'm saying? And then, let me mention this last thing, because definitely if you stood to the end, you deserve to know this. There's a lot of, okay, how do I put this? I can't really sugarcoat it. I just have to say it. People of this Expat community, not everybody is really nice. And you know what? There are not nice people in the world. But I'm making a point here. Stick with me. We got a full moon in Leo, baby. I can't hold my tongue or bite my tongue no more. Find something better to do with your time. I know that this newfound freedom, moving abroad, living into another country, you know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane, mind your business here, and enjoy the freedom that your ancestors weren't able to give themselves. Enjoy that, do something creative, but don't get sucked up in the toxicity that comes with boredom. You ever heard the saying, idle hands is a devil's workshop? So find something to do. And I'm saying this because I did have a few people reached out to me and just talking about drama. I don't do drama. Sorry. I don't do that. I love looking young and beautiful. And gossip is an ugly trait. So I tend to not to get into all of that. But I guess people try to test you from, every now and then, you know. But oh, this happened with me, and this girl happened, and that girl talked about me, and they spread rumors and lies. People are going to talk about you, baby. You watching this, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about you. People are going to talk about you. Let them talk. Use your creativity and your time. Use it to do something constructive, not destructive. You know what I mean? Your time is precious. You don't get it back. Take care of your families. If you have a husband, take care of your husband. Take care of your kids if you have kids. But don't engage in things with your time and do something destructive or evil with it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And this is why I don't tend to like to be around a group of people to this day. Because there's always some negativity lingering around. In the words of Denzel Washington, you can go to parties, you can do all of that stuff, but leave 30 minutes after. Because that's when the devil shows up. You know what I'm saying? You can go, you can do all of that, but leave 30 minutes after that party. Leave. 30 minutes, I think. So you won't get stuck in drama. That doesn't prevent people from talking about you. They're going to talk about you regardless. But that makes it hard being here because people are literally looking for a real community. It doesn't exist. Community is made up of people who are talking about other people when they can be doing something constructive. Hurting each other. That's the part that makes it just so hard to be here. When you have to deal with situations like that. When you can't be an adult and just speak your mind about a problem that you may have with an individual. It's sad. But the best advice for people who are going through that situation is to distance yourself from these people. Distance yourself. Get closer to the creator. Get closer to your highest self. Do something positive. You know what I mean? I've seen people, I'm gonna laugh here, but I've seen people would just only hang around other people just to say that they have somebody, even though these people are not the right people for them. And that's something you're never gonna see me do. And I don't want nobody else to do that either. I want y'all to have healthy relationships because you came here for a reason. You came here to perhaps heal, to I don't know why you came here, but you came here for a reason. So don't let people drag you down. Please don't. Don't let them drag you down. That's the thing about being here. What I hate about being here. And I feel like sometimes I just can't take it no more. Like I have to unplug. And so I need you guys to understand that living abroad is so beautiful, it's life-changing, it's spiritual, it is great. I wouldn't change it for nothing in this world. I wouldn't go back in time at all for nothing. I love being here in Mexico. I just want you guys to understand what are some of my challenges and what are other people's challenges. So that when you get here, you decide to make this your home, your permanent home, you won't be as surprised as me. You would know. Okay? You would know. All right, that is pretty much it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.